Call the March 11th Village Board meeting to order. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Trustee Stapleton?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Okay, this evening we'll be starting with Trustee Snagowski.
Here.
Stapleton.
Here.
Glatzer. Here. Kwasniewski.
Here.
Maher.
Here.
McClafferty.
Here. Okay, great. To start, we do have to amend the public hearing title. There was somewhat of a typo. Instead of reading fiscal year 19 to 20, just read fiscal year 19-20. So again, public hearing on fiscal year 19 to 20 on the proposed annual operating budget on the mayor's report. Need a motion to make this change.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Blatzer, seconded by Trustee Motzer. I'm sorry, Maher. Sorry about that.
My second cousin.
Shalom.
You're Italian now. Okay, and we're amending it to say public hearing on fiscal year 19 to 20 proposed annual operating budget on mayor's report. Can we have a roll call for that, please?
Okay, Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Glatzer.
Yes.
Kwasniewski.
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes. Okay, motion approved. Okay, next up, we have the consent agenda. First of all, we have the approval of minutes of the February 25th board meeting, as well as the February 25th COW meeting, and also the approval of disbursements. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Snagowski, seconded by Trustee Blatzer. Do we have any questions or comments? Nope. Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Okay, Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Glatzer.
Yes.
Kwasniewski.
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes. Okay, motion approved. Next up, on the mayor's report, we have a public hearing on the fiscal year 19 to 20 proposed annual operating budget. I need a motion to open the public hearing. Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Snagowski, seconded by Trustee McClafferty. Any questions or comments? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. At this time, the public hearing is open. Chris, is there anything we need to?
Yes, Mayor.
To
Thank you.
communicate.
This public hearing is one of two public hearings that we are going to have. We're going to have one tonight, and then we're going to have one on March 25th as well. By state statute, we were required to have one public hearing. We've decided to give the public multiple opportunities for oral and written comments, so that we would have two public hearings. I do want to say the budget is online under the village's website, and if it's under the budget, if you go into the transparency page, the budget, it is online. And we will be discussing the proposed budget on March 18th and on April the 15th at the COW meeting.
Okay. I've been told we need to read on record that the hearing was open at 6:37 p.m.
I already have that.
Okay,
sir.
got that? Okay, great. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. And again, the budget online is prepared in accordance with, to what regards to the referendum?
As of right now, the referendum dollars are in the budget, as long as matching the expenditures. Should the referendum not pass, that's when we will discuss in April 15th, we will discuss some options to, we're going to have to cut expenditures or seek other types of revenue sources. So we will be discussing that on April the 15th.
Okay, great. And I just want to clarify, in case someone goes online, this assumes that the $1 million plus referendum is going to pass. If it does not, obviously, unlike the state or federal government, we always balance our budget.
Yes.
We will then make the appropriate cuts to be balanced. Okay. With that being said, any other questions or comments? All right, again, Chris, thank you. So I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion by trustee Blatzer, seconded by trustee McClafferty. With that being said, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Okay, next up, exciting presentation. We have a plaque from the Special Olympics that we've received. Chief, do you want to take the honors on this?
So the police department has been presented with a plaque in recognition of Special Olympics for raising about $24,000 in cash for the Special Olympics events that are occurring in Bloomington each year. So I wanted to recognize the folks that really contributed to this because this is their plaque and their recognition. And the one who's not here is also Jerry Limacher, who contributed significantly to this as well. For those that don't know, the Special Olympics is the Olympic Games for special needs folks that was originated here in Illinois and now is a national event. Illinois is still the largest sponsor of the Special Olympics. And the Lamont Police Department now raised enough to get onto the Special Olympics shirts for this year. So we are selling those at the police department if anybody's interested in purchasing them, and they will be sold at our Cops and Kids event. The fundraising for this comes from a couple different things. Officer Kazawa, and that's why I passed around the picture, does the polar plunge every year. That's the outfit that he plunged in
Very nice.
this year for that. And Joe raised a lot of funds for us. Our Cops and Kids events that all the townsfolk come and support us at the Dunkin' Donuts restaurants in May is part of this event. And then Jerry Limacher does a fundraiser for the 5-0 at the Dirty Old Racetrack, and Jerry participated in that and raised a lot of money for us this year. And at personal peril to himself as he crashed and broke his ribs and wrecked his race car at that event. So these guys do all this on their own time and without any compensation to volunteer. Rob Keene is our coordinator here in Lamont. He also coordinates all of the events for the special needs kids. As like any other Olympic Games, there's regional trials as they move it down into the games in Springfield, and we hold one of those events in Lamont, and Rob coordinates it. And I appreciate their efforts and keeping involved in this year after year. How many years have you done this?
This was my ninth plunge.
Ninth plunge. It's getting colder and colder out in so, thanks, Joe. And on behalf of the village, this is yours. Presented to the Lamont Police Department for their outstanding financial support to the 2018 Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. We'll put this up in our lobby. Thank you.
Great job, guys. Appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Mayor's mention. We want to thank everyone again for coming out to the St. Patrick's Day Parade this past Saturday. For the most part, the weather held out. If we didn't have the train come through, we would have all been dry, but timing's everything, right? But also, we want to thank the VFW again for hosting the after parade activities, and many thanks to the event coordinator, Donna Pacina, our own village employee. So again, thank you, Donna. This Thursday, the annual State of the Village Address will be held this Thursday, March 14th at the Crystal Grand Banquets from 4 to 6 p.m. You can register at 10 on the Chamber's website. Their new website is myhcba.com. And again, that is what? My Heritage Corridor. What's the B stand for, George?
Convention Bureau.
Oh, Convention Bureau. Business Alliance, okay, yeah, Convention Bureau.
Two heritage corridors. So that's right.
All right. As a reminder, the Lamont Chamber of Commerce has merged with Homer Glen to become the Heritage Corridor Business Alliance. So there you go. All right. So registration is open for the Quarryman. The annual challenge 10-mile and 5K run is this May 11th. You can register at quarrymanchallenge.com. The Park District is having a kids' rummage sale on Saturday, March 16th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Core. Kids can sell their gently used toys and make money for new toys. Sounds like a racket there, but register to secure your table at lamontdistrict.org. Also, the Park District is hosting a teen flashlight extravaganza on Friday, April 5th from 7 to 8 p.m. This is an egg hunt in the dark for ages 13 to 17. And then from 8 to 9 p.m. on Friday, April 5th, there's a grown-up moonlight egg hunt. This both will be held at the Quad Fields at Centennial Park. Also on Saturday, April 13th at 12 p.m., the Park District is having their H2O Eggs Venture, which is a free event for all ages, where you can dive into the swimming pool at the Core for eggs. Children can also visit the Easter Bunny. Please register in advance for this event. Again, it's at the lamontparkdistrict.org. Also, our Lamont Environmental Advisory Commission will hold their Spring Recycling Day on April 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Metro Lot. Referendum update. This past Thursday, we had a town hall meeting. Would like to thank everyone coming out. We had about, approximately 40 people come out. Again, we appreciate everyone's involvement. Again, the referendum is about a non-home rule sales tax 1% increase. Again, we had the home rule referendum, which would have put 30% of the $1 million plus burden on non-residents. That failed. We heard it loud and clear.
Well, 70, John, the other way around.
I'm sorry, did I say?
70 on non-residents.
Okay. 70% on non-residents, 30% on residents. Right. Thank you. So again, we want as least amount of burden on our residents. That's why we went with the home rule. The next option that we're choosing as a board is a 1% sales tax, and that will put 50% of the burden on the residents. If that does not pass, obviously we have another option, which is going to put 100% of the burden on the residents, and that will include approximately, call it $200 per family per year. That could go plus or minus $100 depending on your spending habits and your usage of water. But we will have to go after that, and that will be 100% on the backs of residents, and that will be through two means. It will be an increase in our vehicle sticker and or an increase in water rates. We have not determined that breakout. We hope we don't have to determine that breakout, but we will figure that out once we know the referendum after that date. So again, the referendum is on the ballot for April 2nd. Early voting starts Monday, March 18th. Early voting is held at our Lamont Township. Okay, so that's the referendum update. With that being said, next up, we have time for audience participation. If anyone would like to speak, please come up to the podium and please state your name. Looks like we have no takers. So we're going to move on to the clerk's report. Charlene.
Thank you. This evening, the first resolution, if passed, would be R-13-19, and this is in support of a capital bill.
Okay, we need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Blatzer, seconded by Trustee McClafferty. George.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Representatives from Metro Rail, one of the village's key intergovernmental partners, has asked the village board to pass a resolution in support of the state legislature passing a capital bill to fund transportation and other infrastructure projects. The state of Illinois has not had a formal capital bill since 2010. While a capital bill will provide funding for all modes of transportation, and there's many different industry that would love to have a capital bill, including the village, and our council of governments are going to be getting involved on lobbying the legislature for passing a capital bill. Metro specifically asked us to get involved. The way their economic model works with primarily receiving sales tax and fare fees, along with the age of their infrastructure and their fleet. They particularly need a capital bill, just like everybody else, so they've asked us to kind of weigh in, and if approved today, they'll put this into their portfolio when they go and talk to the legislature. I think the reality of it is without a capital bill, Metra won't have the funds to improve their infrastructure, won't have the funds to eventually bring increased service to the Heritage Corridor line, so we are all in it together, and so I thought it'd be good to pass this with the board here today.
Yeah, thanks, George. And again, Metra, obviously, as George mentioned, this is the one line that is actually increasing in ridership in light of everyone working at home. All the other lines are actually decreasing. Again, we continue to work with our Congressman Lipinski to even, Canadian National as far as trying to get them, obviously to open up for more lines. That has been an emphasis for probably the last 20-plus years by the board. So again, whatever we can do to get more funding for this obviously makes our ridership and our location that much more valuable. With that being said, any other questions or comments? Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Snagowski?
Yes.
Stapleton?
Yes.
Latzer?
Yes.
Kwasniewski?
Yes.
Maher?
Yes.
McClafferty?
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
The next resolution, if passed this evening, would be Resolution R-14-19, and this is approving the purchase of a 2019 Ford F-250 pickup truck.
Okay, need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Blatzer, seconded by trustee Kwasniewski. Ralph.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution for the purchase of a 2019 Ford pickup truck out of the Water and Sewer Fund. This pickup truck will be replacing a 15-year-old pickup truck that has 185,000 miles and has seen its time. So staff recommendation is to approve the resolution for $31,958 to Willowbrook Ford for the purchase of the truck.
Thanks, Ralph. Again, it's cheaper to buy a new vehicle than to rehab old ones, correct, in the long run?
We don't want to be getting into repairs and go by the warranty.
Okay, great. Any other questions, comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Snagowski?
Yes.
Stapleton?
Yes.
Latzer?
Yes.
Kwasniewski?
Yes.
Maher?
Yes.
McClafferty?
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
The next item, if passed, would be Resolution R-15-19, and this is terminating and dissolving the service agreement between the Village of Lamont and the Lamont Video Access League.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So move.
Second. Okay, we have a motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee Kwasniewski. George, you want to take this?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a bit of a housekeeping item. The village currently on its books has an agreement with the Video Access League to provide Channel 6 services for the community. And we've talked a little bit about this last few meetings. If you look at the evolution of Channel 6, it started 35 years ago with a group of 25 volunteers. Back in 1998, the village formalized the group a little bit and approved an intergovernmental agreement with the group to fund programming. And since about 3 or 4 years ago, that group hasn't really existed, hasn't existed at all. So Lamont, the Village of Lamont has taken over full production of Channel 6. We've contracted out a little bit, tried to keep it a little bit cheaper on the community. At the end of the day, I'm not sure we love being in that business, but it's one of those services that there's a true good to the community to keep providing it. So we will keep providing it until another entity wants to come along and help us out. But that's kind of where we are. This just formally ends the agreement with the Video Access League, but practically we've already been taking over the program for about 3 or 4 years now. But we've talked to the school districts, potentially the community college districts in the area. We were always looking for opportunities to bring interns, volunteers. So if anybody out there wants to get back involved, we would love to work with you.
Great, thanks, George. Any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Snagowski?
Yes.
Stapleton?
Yes.
Latzer?
Yes.
Kwasniewski?
Yes.
Maher?
Yes.
McClafferty?
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
The next item, if passed this evening, would be Resolution R-16-19, and this is authorizing the issuance of unclaimed cleanup bond deposit refunds.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee Blatzer. Chris?
Thank you, Mary. This is a housekeeping item. Basically, these are deposits that were given to us prior to fiscal year 2012. They are a financial liability that is on our books, and basically what we are doing is we are cleaning up the cleanup bond deposits. We're asking to refund. We contacted the people that have deposited these funds, and about $110,000 of them we will be giving back to them, and the remainder of $78,500 will go to the unclaimed state of Illinois, so they will have to get it to the state of Illinois. This is a liability that is on our books. We're just basically cleaning it up.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Snagowski?
Yes.
Stapleton?
Yes.
Blatzer?
Yes.
Kwasniewski?
Yes.
Maher?
Yes.
McClafferty?
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
The next item would be R-17-19, and this is authorizing the amendment to a lease agreement between Clear Channel Outdoor Incorporated and the Village of Lamont. That's lease number 34087.
Okay, need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by trustee Kwasniewski, seconded by trustee McClafferty. George, you want to take this?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The village purchased property at 12775 Main Street, known as the Meineke piece of property back in 2015. When the village purchased the property, there was an existing lease for the billboard on the property. So we took over that lease from the property owner. We do not own the billboard per se, but we own the ground underneath the billboard. So there had been 3 years remaining on that lease when we purchased the property. So we were receiving about $5,000 a year in revenue for that billboard from Clear Channel. That lease has since terminated. We're in negotiation. I think long-term, we've talked about it at a couple committee of the whole meetings. We'd like to remove the billboard completely over time, enhance the sight line out there, especially with a future development at 83 and Main Village owned. However, in discussion, how can we leverage the billboard for the next couple years while we're still developing 83 and Main, while still being able to get out of any long-term lease if and when the site does develop. One thing we've been negotiating with Clear Channel is a new agreement for more money and also in-kind services. So the new agreement annually would be for $6,000 a year, but in addition to that would be advertisement on an off-site billboard, and we're kind of pegged I-55. There's a billboard out by near Plainfield Road where the village could have essentially free advertisement as part of this deal. So we were always looking for ways to promote the village, advertise events, advertise our different initiatives we have going on, and in trying to keep the costs down. This is an opportunity for no cost to the village to promote the village out on the billboard, which is very effective advertising, as we all know. So that is the agreement going forward. It would be cancelable at any time with a 60 or 90-day notice. So if there is a development on the property, we can essentially have the billboard removed. But at least at the time being during development, we'll be able to leverage it for our use. Before we kind of kick it around for questions, I know we had one question, Mike, from one of our trustees, Trustee Stapleton. If you want to clarify one item in the lease, and then we'll kind of go around.
Trustee Stapleton brought up a good point. I had worked on number 6 on the amendment to the lease. Number 6, previously how it was presented to us only applied to the village. And then I put language into successor of interest or landlord. Trustee Stapleton's inquiry to me before the meeting, and he makes a good point, that it says that it actually would only be the portion of the property where the actual billboard sits. Now, in my opinion, number 8 deals with if you get a new buyer for the property, because then it's a 30 days. But I think to make sure that to alleviate any concern, but also any confusion, that if you approve it today, if you approve it with the attorney's review under number 6, I understand what Trustee Stapleton's concern, and I will make sure that it's clear that that will not be something that they can use on us and trump the contract.
Okay.
That's it.
Any other, thanks,
I'd like to
Mike.
make that change, we'd be asking for authorization to, that'd be considered a minor change. that you
It's a
can
minor, it's
negotiate on.
it's a small change pending attorney's change on number 6. So essentially what I'm doing is I'll change the language where it says where it only sits in number 6, even though 8 covers it already, but I'll make sure that 6 and 8 match.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Go- Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
As the board knows, I don't like billboards. I fought them, we kept a couple out off of 355. I wish this whole issue was presented to the village first, like in Polco or the Patch or something like that, where we could get some feedback, because I know when I fought the billboards, there was a real outcry from the whole village about billboards. Now, we don't allow billboards in the village of Lamont. It's our property. I don't know, should this have gone through the Planning and Zoning Commission for, or is it because it's our property, we can just have a billboard? I don't know. But there are 4 states in the U.S. that don't allow them at all. And what Alaska did is they put it up to a state referendum, and 72% of the people voted no billboards in Alaska. So, okay, that's my speech.
Thanks, Ron. The billboard's up right now, though. That's one thing we got to remember. So.
Yeah. So
All right.
far.
And they've asked to make modifications and improve them. We're not, we did not go through that option, make them electronic. I think we're gonna keep it as it is and try to leverage it for futures with the ability to take
Of course,
it
the
down.
people have to know that those billboard things we get are 10 seconds, and they're only gonna be 5 weeks out of the year. So it's not a lot of advertising. 10 seconds for 5, you know. I think every 80 seconds you get 10 seconds, but for only 5 weeks out of the year.
Rick, go ahead.
While I sympathize with Ron's feelings, I would want to point out that we will be getting $6,000 per year, and after the 5 years are passed, if we're still not developed down there, it'll go to $8,000 a year, in addition to the subsequent advertising out on I-55. So I think it's a fair compromise, although forever, I'm not for them either. But I think in the interim, in as much as it's up there now, we're in the developmental stage down there, I think it's a good move for us, especially as we're chasing dollars everywhere, so.
One more comment. My own suggestion was that we build our own LED sign at that corner, advertise our local businesses there, and it'll be ours forever.
I'm not an LED fan.
I'd be glad to get on that committee, man.
I'm not either, but
Okay.
if you want to quickly get advertising for our businesses downtown, that'd be a
And
good way
other
to
towns
do
have been
it.
very successful with that. Bolingbrook
Yeah.
and Lockport. now,
Lockport.
Something to bring up.
Okay. Any other questions or comments relating to this billboard sign that's up right now? Okay. All right, roll call,
Okay,
please.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
No.
Latzer,
Yes.
Kwasniewski,
Yes.
Maher,
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay. The next resolution would be R-18-19, and this is authorizing the acquisition of property commonly known as 14501 Main Street, Lamont, Illinois.
Okay, need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee Snagowski. Jason.
The Village of Lamont staff was alerted that a property in the Heritage Quarries Recreation Area was available for sale on the Cook County Land Bank Authority's website. This property is adjacent to the I&M Canal Reserve Strip. So we are seeking to enter into agreement to purchase it should it become available. It is not immediately available. It is, I think, still several months out, but this would just put us in line to acquire the property should it become available for purchase. And again, what we're trying to do here is just sort of protect the public interest in the investments we've made in the quarry.
Typically what we normally do, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Latzer,
Yes.
Kwasniewski,
Yes.
Maher,
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. Attorney report. Mike, got anything for us?
A busy month, but most of them is been covered by what was already approved today.
Okay, thanks, Mike. All right, we like it that way. Okay, George, administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One quick item you mentioned, we had the budget public hearing tonight. We will have one more on the 25th, and kind of sandwiched in between there is our budget committee of the whole. So if anybody out there wants to really get involved in the budget and go through department by department, we will do that next Monday at our committee meeting. Also talk about our annual fee ordinance, and we will get into a little bit some of the scenarios if the referendum passes, fails, how are we going to fund our obligations. So that'll be next Monday at 6:30 here at Village Hall. It'll be committee of the whole, more of a workshop environment, and then the 25th will be another public hearing. You can comment on that portion if anything changes, and then in April we will approve the budget. So just want to make that quick note, and we'll try to get information out on all of our avenues. If you do have an opportunity to look at our website, and Chris has done a great job putting a lot of information on our financial transparency page. So kind of broken up, if you really just want to get into the budget, we've also invested in a partnership with ClearGov, which tries to put our budget into layman's terms as much as possible, and shows it through different graphs and different ways where it's a little bit more fund accounting, and government can be a little bit complicated. We're trying our best to kind of simplify it. You'll also be able to benchmark against other communities, other townships. So please go on our website, and if you have any questions on the budget, dig in there, and if you have any questions further, just contact Chris or myself.
Thanks, George. Okay, any board reports? Nope. Okay, moving on. Staff reports. Ralph, do you have something for us?
I do, thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder to our residents that Waste Management will begin their yard waste limb pickup on April 2nd. So we're a few weeks out yet. You already pay for this service. It's part of the contract. All you have to do is go to your local establishment and buy the brown paper bags. No stickers needed. So get the paper bags and fill them up with your leaves or garden debris, whatever you have. And the tree limbs, they have to be in 4-foot sections and wrapped with string, not wire. So that's all I have tonight.
Again, what was the date?
April 2nd.
April 2nd.
Yes. On your garbage day.
Thanks, Ralph.
Yep.
Chief, you got something for us?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to give the town a briefing on the events that transpired in Briarcliff this morning. Our officers responded to a well-being check in the area on the entrance to Briarcliff. Upon arriving, they found that 2 of the occupants were victims of blunt force trauma. They were transported to the hospital. A person of interest that was known to the victims was quickly identified, and that person was later taken into custody this afternoon. A warrant has been issued, and charges are pending and ongoing on that person that's in custody. Both of the residents are being treated at area hospitals and right now remain in serious condition.
Thanks, Chief.
There's no danger to any of the residents in the Briarcliff area, and there wasn't today.
Yeah, obviously this does not happen in Lamont, and it's an unfortunate incident, and we wish nothing but the best as far as speedy recovery and a healthy recovery for both of those residents.
I want to commend my detectives for a job well done. It was amazing to wrap an investigation up like this within 8 hours. They did a great job in locating the person of interest, and I want to thank the Cook County Major Crimes Task Force for coming in and assisting us today.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Again, great job as far as at least apprehending the suspect. With that said, any other comments? Any other reports from the staff? Okay, moving on. Any unfinished or new business?
Yes.
Rick,
One
go
on
ahead.
each. Under the unfinished, I just thought it'd be important to point out, once again, Mayor, as you mentioned, the budget is published right now, and Chris, as you mentioned, it is based on the referendum being passed. I think it's important to know that this has been a progressive effort in trying to get the home rule passed, at which point only 30% of the burden would have been on the residents. Currently, trying for the 1% referendum, it'd be 50%, and if that doesn't pass, it'd be 0 as it relates to the budget. So we will pass a balanced budget, but this budget is based on what you've elected us to do, which is manage the village, And we're trying to do that, so as you do that, there's planning in the future that has to be considered in that budget, the same as it would be for you to redo your roof. If these things don't pass, then we don't do the roof. Eventually, the roof will start to leak. That's where we're at, and that's why it's very important. So that's under unfinished, and under new business, I'd just like to point out again, Chris, why don't you toot your own horn here? We were awarded again on budgeting and other accounting procedures. So you received that award this week, and I want to get the nomenclature right, so.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, the Government Finance Officers Association gives out awards every single year. We always ask for 2 awards, so we ask for an award for our budget presentation and our audit. We have not received our audit as of yet. We have put it into the hopper, but the budget award has been received. And the Commons were actually really, really good this year. They commended us for a job well done. It's a lot of work. It's a 200-plus page document that we put together. The departments do a great job putting together goals and accomplishments. So it's really an effort made by everybody and the board as well. So
Well, congratulations to you personally and to the staff, all the people involved in putting that together. Thank you.
Thanks. Great job, Chris. Any other new, old business? Okay. Next up, we are going to, we will have an executive session. I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss under Chapter 5 ILCS 120 of the Open Meetings Act. We're going to discuss 2 items. We're going to discuss imminent litigation under 2C11. Need as well, I'm sorry. And also, we have an addition to the executive session in Section 2C5, acquisition of property. So with that, those 2, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Maher, seconded by trustee McClafferty. We need a roll call, please.
Snegowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Latzer.
yes.
Kwasniewski.
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. We may have a decision after executive session, so we might potentially have I guess, a motion afterwards, yeah. But with that being said, this now ends the first part of our public session. We now are going to go into executive session, so we're going to clear the room. And like I said, it's when we come out, potentially we can have a decision. If not, obviously, we open it up and close the meeting. So thank you.